Hey SK fans, Leonix here. I'm joined by Meteos. His team just beat Team Liquid. Team Liquid was 2-0 from week 1, but you guys actually stopped that. How do you feel after your win?
I'd say this win is a decent confidence booster for us because we did pretty badly week 1, and then we played against a pretty good team with their full roster, and we managed to have a pretty one-sided game against them. So, I mean, hopefully that means we're getting over the issues we have. I don't think they're fully gone. I don't think this win means we're about to go 16-0 for the rest of the season. I think there's still be some bumps along the road, but it's a good start.
Now that you talking about you had a little bit of issues from your 0-2 start, actually coming in 10th place in the LCS. I know it's very premature to say, but you said that there are still issues, but what were they? Were they communication issues, or what could it possibly have been? Is it a new patch?
I'd say there's a few things that sort of combined. I'd say part of it was the fact that we just came off a win at IEM San Jose, which before going to our break, it's one of those things where when you're winning a lot, it's really easy to get lazy and just assume you're okay. When you're practicing and stuff's not going 100% in scrims, you can brush it off it's all right, we're doing well anyway. But the teams that are losing, it's a lot more motivation because you have that thing in your head being you're not good enough, keep trying. So I'd say that's part of it. We also had to move, and we didn't really have a gaming room, so everyone was playing from their own respective rooms after the move, and that sort of lost a bit of the teamworkness that we'd all have from the same room. But actually this last week we finally got our office set up at Logitech. We had our Alienware computers all there, and it's a really nice setup, so I think it helped a lot. Just having that team space again, so that helps. And then yeah, like you said, communication issues. It's just one of those things where we've all been solo queuing a lot, so everyone sort of has a solo queue mentality where we all sort of want to do our own thing. If there's a call come mid, everyone sort of gets greedy. I'll do one more camp, a laner will do one more push one more wave, and then all of a sudden they out-rotated us because we were being greedy. So it was just little things like that, and then not following some calls that need to be made weren't. And it was just a lot of everyone sort of having their own idea of what we wanted to do, and we weren't really seeing eye to eye on it like we usually do. So that was a big emphasis that we put on our practice this week. Just what we're saying is just High makes a call and we follow her. If it's the worst call ever, then we'll just get aced, and then he'll know not to do that next time. So that's a big thing we've believed, and we sort of just lost sight of it, I guess, that first week. But we're getting it back, so hopefully things will get better.
Now, at IEM San Jose, speaking of that, you've played only Lee Sin, Jarvan in the jungle during that tournament at the beginning of the Season 5 changes and kind of integrating into the upcoming season. Is there a reason why you pulled out the Vi now, or do you favor one jungler or the other right now? What's your ideals and philosophies on the meta right now?
Well, I'd say for the meta, it's pretty agreed upon. There's Rek'Sai, Jarvan. Some people still like Lee Sin a lot. Some people are staying away from him. And then Vi and maybe I'm forgetting one, but I don't generally those champions are just viewed as the best junglers, and they also do a different thing. Champions like Vi and Rek'Sai get this massive power spike once they finish their warrior upgrade. Champions like Jarvan, Lee Sin are just a lot of early game pressure. So you basically just play to your strengths, right? This game they had Jarvan, I had Vi, so just put up defensive wards, play passively. Wait till I'm stronger than him, that sort of thing. Don't force myself to suicide to a Jarvan who's stronger than me. So we just sort of had that philosophy. I'd say right now those are all the best junglers, and I usually as far as the meta goes, no one's sort of one guy is not just pulling out this pocket champ every week or something. Every once in a while you'll see Pantheons. I want to say Fiddlesticks come out before, but I mean for the most part it's everyone doing the same thing.
You played with a couple different junglers at week 1 and even today. What's your thoughts on the new TSM with Santorin? I know that you guys are kind of rivalry with Cloud9 TSM. That's obviously a little bit changed from Amazing. Yet St. Fish is from Gravity from last week, and I Will Dominate. How did you feel that the other NA junglers have adapted to the meta?
I think every jungler is sort of on the same page. I'd say the biggest difference right now is just what kind of smites people like. A lot of people have been favoring Chilling Smite. I've always sort of been a fan of Trailblazer because I like the consistency. Sure, you might miss one kill every couple of games because you didn't have Chilling Smite, in my opinion. But like, I just been really leaning towards Trailblazer. It just feels better to me. But I don't think either one's right or wrong. It's just sort of a feel thing. So that's probably the biggest difference people have been having, as far as stylistic differences. And then you were mentioning the other teams, and I think Santorin is really good. Smithy seems to like not really have lost any of his skill when he came back to the jungle. They're both extremely good. It's hard to just purely rate junglers because the only things you really notice people doing as a jungler is mistakes. It's hard to really, if you're doing a really good job as a jungler, you kind of go unnoticed. You just sort of like that guy that controls the flow of the game. You make sure their jungler's being tracked and you're not killing yourself. But the only things you really notice as far as junglers making mistakes is really like missing smites, missing Qs as Lee Sin. And so it's really hard for me to judge how good a player is. I try to not really like care how good I am compared to someone else. That's just like something for the fans, I guess. But I'd say like pretty much every LCS player like deserves to be there, and they're all pretty good.
Now, going against Team Liquid, obviously they had a sub last week for week 1. Was there any specific plan? I know that you guys kind of won decisively in that game. Was there any specific plan that you had, like maybe even shutting them down or preparing against Team Liquid, knowing that they had a phenomenal week 1 and the vice versa for you guys?
Well, coming into it, we didn't look too much at what they did. We just sort of tried to fix our own mistakes, and we just played more as a team this week. We were making a lot smarter decisions, and I mean, something I sort of mentioned in the post-game interview we joke around with is saying tilt Piglet when we're against Team Liquid, because he's a pretty emotional player and he's susceptible to like tilting really hard, but he can also carry really hard. So obviously we got an advantage on him, and then like there was that one play where whenever we see him splitting, some AD carries you'll figure, like if it's Cop splitting, you know his team's right behind him because he's a more safer player. But Piglet, he's probably just like, oh, I need the CS, I need to like carry the game. And so we were able to use that to actually get a really good fight during the game. So those are like the little things you look for when you go up against a team. But for the most part, we just try to play our game, and hopefully it's better than their game on that day.
All right. So now that you've have your first victory in the LCS, is there any future updates for Cloud9? Shout outs, plugins, sponsors, or anything like that?
Oh, well, I like to thank all of our sponsors, especially like Logitech, Alienware, Law Class, HTC, who just gave us our phones. Pretty much all of them, Homejoy. They've been a huge help, especially Logitech and Alienware, because they just spent a lot of effort getting that office for us set up, and I think it helped a lot in week 2. So shout out to everyone who's helped us, and all of our fans, of course.
All right, guys, this is Leonix here. If you want any more content just like this, be sure to check out SK Gaming on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to keep the content going. Other than that, till next time.